We'll let him go back.
Shooting around this late in the season is a first for the Fighting Irish. Until this year, Notre Dame had never even been to the Sweet 16, let alone the Final Four, and they're the only squad in Cincy without a first-team All-American. One word. What's going through your head?
Amazing. Heaven sent. I just said two, but I can't help it.
I always came to these practices and sat down in the stands and watched all the coaches, and I just kept saying to myself, one day I'm going to be here.
Last year I felt that we were good, and we knew we were good, a little bit of arrogance there. But this year, you know, we're the underdog, and we did the unexpected, so it's really a time to cherish.
It's not often Tennessee and underdog are used in the same sense. Their 10 losses are the most by any team ever to make the Final Four. But that number's a little deceiving. With the toughest schedule in the nation, Tennessee played 11 games against the current top 10, and that's made them tourney tough.
Well, there are no secrets. I mean, by the time we get here, everyone that's played us has tried all types of defenses. We've seen all types of offensive teams or styles of play, and you know, we've played against the best players in the country, so we're not in awe of anyone.
The only other school in the 90s as storied as Tennessee, Stanford, and Naismith Player of the Year Kate Starber. This is her third straight Final Four.
We did have a few first thoughts walking in, and they were completely different from our sophomore year. We were just talking about that. Come in, and there's all these people here to watch you practice, and my first time in the Final Four, that was really, you know, kind of unnerving and a little exciting, and this year it's just like, okay, there's people here, let's go.
Stanford must face the only team to beat them this year, Old Dominion, but the Lady Monarchs haven't visited the Final Four since winning it all in 1985.
We sat down in preseason and we talked about winning a national championship, but talking about it and actually being here is two different things.
It's the classic case of David versus Goliath. Coming into this weekend, the Davids, ODU and Notre Dame, had yet to make a trip to the Final Four this decade. The Goliaths, Stanford and Tennessee, had made 8. Many here say experience will be the overriding factor, or you could look at it like Notre Dame coach Muffet McGraw. Ain't no one expecting us to beat Tennessee, so there's no pressure. And that's the attitude that's got us this far. Robin?
All right, Bonnie, thank you. Continue to be handed out. On Thursday, it was the Kodak All-American team, the oldest and most prestigious of the women's honor squads for the second year in a row. Tennessee's Rumika Holtzclaw is on the list, and Clarice Mashingwana of Old Dominion joins her teammate, Tisha Pinachero, and 2 from Connecticut also, Mimi, Nikisha Sales and Carol Walters.
You know, the last time that happened was 1980, Robin, when both Old Dominion and Tennessee each had 2 All-Americans. It's nice that we'll have a chance to see the Old Dominion All-Americans play in this Final Four.
That's right, and also Carol Walters named the AP Player of the Year, and her coach, Dino Oriema, the Coach of the Year. Be sure to join us live Friday for the women's semifinals, Stanford and Old Dominion, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by Notre Dame and Tennessee. Let's play ball. For Mimi Griffin, I'm Robin Roberts. National Championship featuring 4 very unique teams. Cinderella Notre Dame making its first ever trip to the Final Four. Battle 4-time national champion Tennessee. Another familiar face here, the Cardinal of Stanford. Focus on the free-spirited and emotional Lady Monarchs of Old Dominion. Of the Ohio River. Riverfront Coliseum is poised for this crown jewel. The arena is filled, eagerly anticipating this extravaganza. The fans and the teams await what they hope to be a memorable conclusion. Come on inside now as we play host to the 1997 NCAA contest. In our first matchup tonight, it's the Lady Monarchs of Old Dominion, losers of just one game all year, up against the Stanford Cardinals, whose only blemish was at the hands of Old Dominion. Then in our nightcap, it'll be the fresh faces of Notre Dame, making their first trip, taking on perennial force Tennessee, their 10th visit to the Final Four. Our first game showcases Tisha Pinachero of Old Dominion, a wizard at point. Her passes will simply amaze you, folks. And Stanford's Kate Starboard was voted the best in the game, capable of slingshotting her way to the hoop at any time. Live from Cincinnati, it's the Women's Final Four with Mimi Griffin and Rebecca Lobo. I'm Robin Roberts. Let the games begin. And Mimi, we get a little bit of everything in this Final Four.
Robin, we have a real potpourri of women's basketball this evening. We have two teams that are dominant in the sport right now, Tennessee and Stanford. We have an Old Dominion team that represents the history of women's basketball, and we have a very refreshing Notre Dame team that's acting like Snoopy in springtime, enjoying every step of the way. They represent the hope of all those teams out there that want to crack the big time.
Snoopy in springtime. Rebecca, give us the players' point of view right now.
Well, Robin, Mimi is talking about potpourri. I'm going to talk about nerves. It's the Final Four, and trust me, these players are nervous. It's going to be key to see which team settles down the soonest. The soonest, if that's the word. I only played in one Final Four. Tennessee and Stanford are here for the third consecutive year in a row, and that's redundant. But I think that they'll do a good job getting their nerves settled early.
In talking with Stanford coach Tara Vandenberg earlier, she said her Stanford team, Rebecca, reminds her a lot of the Olympic team.
Watching them practice yesterday, I felt like it was deja vu. They run a lot of the drills that we run in practice and have it structured much the same way. Another thing that really reminds me of our Olympic team is the way they can run the ball up the floor, and also their post players. They're big, and they have a lot of them.
You know what else, Rebecca? There's another similarity, and that's the tempo of this game. Stanford takes the tempo to a whole different level. They make their opponents look like they're running in slow motion. Tempo will be a key tonight. Old Dominion has a very potent transition game, but they're going to have to run selectively.
You know we're going to have a lot of fun up here, and having the pleasure of calling the action for us again this year, Andy Myers and Mike Patrick. Let's join them now courtside for their thoughts.
All right, thank you, Robin. Stanford has been rolling through its opponents in this tournament, and it's a little surprising because Player of the Year Kate Starboard simply hasn't been scoring very many points.
Well, and she really hasn't had to, Mike, because they are a very balanced team, and because they have been rolling over their opponents, the starters have been sitting up. But make no mistake, Kate Starboard can score. She can score from the outside, but the nice thing about her game is that she gets herself open, and when she gets herself open, especially in the open floor, she will score.
For Old Dominion, Tisha Pinachero really makes this offense go. In fact, she leads the nation in assists.
Is she fun to watch? 7.5 assists a game, and she is like magic, like Nancy Lieberman coming back to ODU. She makes the game fun. She gets everybody involved. She will be important in this game because she's only about 85%. She got hurt in the Purdue game with a wrist, and so she will be the floor leader and try and make ODU go.
We will be back shortly with the starting lineups, but right now, let's check back with Robin.
All right, Mike and Andy, we are just moments away from ODU and Stanford. For the Cardinals, they will settle for nothing less than a national championship.
We really won't lose. No one on this team is willing to lose, and I think we'll do everything we can to win a national championship this year.
We've been working since I was a freshman, since like 3 years ago. I've been dreaming about being here, and finally we're here. It seems like a dream coming true.
Riverfront Coliseum in Cincinnati for the women's Final Four. Here are the Pert Plus starting lineups. For Stanford, Jamila Weidman will be critical. How will she handle the pressure defense? In the first meeting, only 2 assists and 6 turnovers. For ODU, Clarice Manchaguana is a big-time scorer, more than 20 points a game. If it's an up-tempo contest, her ability to run the court will be a big factor. Nancy Lieberman-Klein working with us tonight. Let's check in with her right now.
Tonight in our spotlight, we're going to keep an eye on the point guard, Jamila Weidman, and see how she's able to do against the full court pressure of Old Dominion. They throw a 1-2-1-1 full court press. At the top of that is 6'5" Manchaguana. Weidman has a very respectable 3-to-1 assist to turnover. Mike?
All right, thank you, Nancy. ODU won the first meeting between these two teams. It is the only blemish on Stanford's record, as the Cardinal committed a staggering 28 turnovers in this game. And even if you're as good as Stanford, you can't commit 28 turnovers and win a ball game.
Wendy Larry says Stanford now has the X factor in Kristen Fokel, the 6'2 sophomore, came back from the volleyball team. This is her 10th game back. February 17th she arrived, and she's getting lots of minutes and lots of points and rebounds for this team. Has made them completely different.
And even though she's only played a handful of games, she has gained tremendous respect around the nation. And she may be one of the best players in the country, even at this point. Tara Vanderveer, very confident before this game. It is her 5th Final Four in the decade. She said she really expects her team to play well tonight. That doesn't guarantee the ball will go in the basket, but she knows they will play hard and play well. Shaking hands with Wendy Larry in her 10th season, 222 victories at Old Dominion. And she brings the Lady Monarchs in at 33-1. Their only loss, the second game of the season, they lost to North Carolina State. Road to the Final Four. It has not been easy for the Lady Monarchs after a blowout of Liberty. They had to go to overtime to beat Purdue. Then they bounced back a little bit against LSU. But Florida had a chance to tie them or beat them in the final seconds, and they escaped in the Elite Eight with a 2-point victory. Stanford, on the other hand, has been a road grader. Howard, Texas Tech, Virginia, and Georgia, victims all.
And as ODU has said, we might as well win ugly if we're going to lose pretty, because for 6.5 minutes at the end of the game, of that Florida game, they did not score. But it shows you the toughness of this ODU team as far as how they stick together and they can win.
Stanford scores 84 points a game, very close to ODU's 85. They lead the nation in points, but they also lead the nation in point defense and differential, even after those close games in the NCAA. And Kate Starbird knows she's going to have an outstanding game from the outside. The officials tonight, Sally Bell, Carla Fujimoto, and Ray Bomelli, a good crew, here to work the Final Four, the first semifinal of the night from Cincinnati.
It definitely will be an up-tempo game. Both teams like to play man-to-man defense.
Machiguana was facing the wrong way in the center circle.
That's the way to start.
Yeah. And ODU controls the opening tip. Stacey Himes gives it up to Penachero. What a great matchup this is, Penachero and Weidman. Andrade misses the first shot. Weidman with a long rebound. She'll push ahead to Nygaard, and too far.
A turnover for Stanford, so turnovers also will be a key in this game. Both coaches talked about rebounding, though, and second and third opportunities. Both these teams bang inside. They're very physical, and so it'll be interesting to see who goes to the glass.
The Lady Monarchs with a slight height advantage inside as Penachero tries to take Weidman inside. Forced the shot up. The follow is good, so the inside power of Nyree Roberts pays off early.
Nyree Roberts is the power inside. They call her Thunder because of how she just bangs on people. 8 rebounds a game. Nygaard picked up her dribble in trouble. Omi tries to save it. She got a 20-second timeout before the ball went out of bounds. So Naomi Mulitawo-Pele with a great play for Stanford, a very heady play. Here's the story on these clubs. ODU with the lead in appearances in the NCAA with 14, but 2 titles and 6 Final Fours to the Stanford Cardinal. Of course, ODU won 2 AIAW championship before the NCAA took control of women's basketball, and it's the same thing. It's a national championship, and I hate to see it split up that way. Well, I do too, and I hope that one day that college basketball will recognize the AIAW and give credit to the women that really made things happen for these players that are playing today.
I'm sitting next to one of them.
Well, they were fun times, and there's a lot of faces that these players need to know. The Immaculatas, the Delta State.
Nygaard outside. She brings Andrade with her on a pressure defense. 5-second call. Excuse me, shot clock violation. And that's what ODU can do to you with its defense.
The Lady Monarchs were #1 in scoring defense and field goal percentage defense in the nation, and that shows you right there that Stanford is going to has to get into their half-court game and run an offense.
Pinachero trying to beat Weidman inside. Weidman right in front of her. Pinachero forced up in the air, got it back somehow, and tosses up a prayer on Good Friday.
I really like the way the Lady Monarchs are coming out. Pinachero is just attacking Weidman. She has taken her to the basket every time she's gotten the possession.
Scott is pushed inside by Machiguana. That will be her first foul.
Stanford, on the other hand, also defensively knows that Pinachero likes to pass the ball rather than shoot it. And we'll see as the game progresses whether Tara Vanderveer will have her team keep slacking off and looking for the passing lanes or get up on her and defend against the shot.
Omi inbounds to Nygaard and threw it away. Out of bounds, last touch by ODU. Offense may miss every once in a while, but defense comes every night, doesn't it?
Oh, no question. Stanford is the type of team, though, they've got a lot of people who can score. But right now, ODU is controlling the tempo with their defense. It's really putting the pressure on.
Weidman gets the loose ball. Starbird has it for the first time. She's fouled on a 3. That is a cardinal sin by Pinachero. You can't go out and foul the three-point shooter, especially someone who was #1 in the Pac-10 shooting 81%.
Well, everybody has said how ugly Kate Starbird's shot is, and Pinachero trying to get a hand up in her face. And I told Kate the other day, I said, I don't think your shot's that ugly. You get it off. That's what counts. They don't ask how. They ask how many.
It's ugly.
I've seen some worse. I've seen worse.
But the good point is hers go in.
Well, exactly. And also, it showed you Stanford in that half-court set, whipping the ball around and getting it to Starbird because she does have a quick shot, as ugly as you may think. And I'm going to tell her that.
Well, she's heard it before, too. I like her T-shirt, though, the one that says, I'm a nerd. One of her teammates gave it to her. She wears it all the time. She hits all 3 free throws and cuts the lead to 1.
Well, Vanessa Nygaard is her roommate, and Vanessa is an Elvis freak, so it's like Elvis and the nerd. What a tandem that is.
Pinachero coming up against Weidman. Pinachero wants somebody to come out and set a screen for her. She's got Andrade on the move. Pinachero dumps it backward. And here's the break. Starbird ahead of the pack. Andrade trying to get back, and Starbird will put it in. And that was one time when Pinachero, that patented move where she's up in the air. Once you're up there, if the defense is good, you're dead.
The thing is, when you are the consummate point guard, you pass the ball and get it to your teammates, which this Old Dominion team is. They have one of the best front lines there is. But she also has to be a scorer, especially if the defense is going to sag off on those passing lines.
Great feed by Andrade as she penetrated, and Roberts gets the bucket. She has 4.
Old Dominion also is the type of team that will press after made free throws. So we'll see how the kind of pressure that they keep on Stanford.
Sharman Smith, the 5'10 senior. Nice inside pass to Olympia Scott. She missed it, kept alive by Omi, and she got the follow. And that's the reason that Omi is starting tonight. 6'4", she's an excellent offensive rebounder.
Tara Vanderveer has been starting Sharman Smith, but goes to the bigger lineup.
Machiguana took 3 big ones and called for the travel.
Internationally, it's good.
And maybe at the next level, now that there is a next level for the women. And here is a great story. Kristen Fokel off the volleyball team. She sat out 2 years of basketball. She had been recruited originally to play this sport and volleyball. Because of injuries, they called her back, and boy, has she been a bone.
This is her 5th national championship at Stanford. 3 Final Fours in volleyball and 2 in basketball. How nice is that?
I'd get her on another team, too. She gets the ball inside and scores. She hasn't made a mistake that I've seen in this tournament. Every play she has made has been the right decision. It's remarkable.
Going into the tournament, she was shooting over 70%. Now she's shooting 66%, but it shows you how fundamental she is.
Stanford has come to play some defense, too. Pinachero nearly lost it, and now they're going to call a reaching foul on Starbird.
Kate Starbird is going to pick up the foul, but look at how Stanford rotates the ball. ODU is standing a little bit, and Fokel just steps right in, uses her body to screen off Machangwana, and she goes in for the 2 points.
First team foul call against Stanford. Pinachero comes into Stacey Hines, the senior from Glen Burnie, Maryland. Bad pass by Hines. Here comes Starberg, or Weidman on the run. Got it to Folkel, kicks it back outside. Weidman, nice fake. Contact, no whistle. Weidman short on the jumper. Boy, they banging each other inside. Pinachero on the run. Nice move to get through. Beautiful play by Pinachero. Stanford back the other way. Starberg for 3. Those are shots she's going to need to make. Starberg gets another crack for 3. Can't give her 2 wide open shots in a row.
Take a breath. Boy, is this up and down. What a fun pace.
I love this. 12-8 Stanford. Haven't played 5 minutes. I'm already tired.
I'm just going to let you take it.
Out of bounds, last touch by Stanford. And we've got a timeout on the court so we can get a breather. 15:08 to go first half. The lead is 4. Stanford with the early lead. Nanny, we've already seen some great athleticism.
Tisha Pinachero, one of the reasons she is an All-American this year. What a great move. Big time all the way. And she's going to have to keep scoring for Old Dominion to make that Stanford defense cut back off of her. But here's a great pass. They get the ball back to Kate Starberg. She's shooting over 42% from 3-point range. She's taken a lot of shots from there. Don't leave her open.
Even with all this defense, Stanford shooting 50%, ODU shooting 66.7% early. Andrade, the junior from Lisbon, Portugal. Starberg with a nice reach out against. Now she's on Pinachero.
Machangwana and Roberts have really not touched the ball at all inside for Old Dominion because Stanford is just posting up on them and not allowing them to get the ball.
Weidman trying to penetrate, dumps it off to Folkel. Folkel has 4. The lead has grown to 6.
Both of these teams, when you try to double team, these guards are so good that they will find the open player down low.
Roberts comes out to the high post. They want to get the ball to Machangwana down low. She really disappointed she didn't get it. Fighting Olympia Scott.
Olympia Scott has had a wonderful 4 games, and she's playing really good defense right there. Nice pick that time, but they can't get her the ball.
Roberts switches to the left hand, goes to get her own rebound, and throws it away. Folkel with the steal. After a couple of scary minutes early, and here's a bad pass. Was it tipped? No, out of bounds as Weidman commits another turnover. They played pretty well except for that pass.
And look at this smart move by Folkel. She's open down low, makes the nice move inside, keeps her hands up. Is that a smart player? Basic fundamentals. I like to say John Wooden UCLA school. And she just is calling for the ball, and you can see her. She makes herself big because both hands are up.
Well, you just want to take Pinachero or Weidman and just start your own club. They're both so good. Great hustle and nearly the save as teams throwing their bodies all over the place. Himes got a hand on it, couldn't save it.
This Old Dominion team starts 3 seniors, and Stacey Himes is one of them. She does not get a lot of credit. She's really the glue to this team, and she will go all over the floor for this Lady Monarch team.
She does a lot more than the statistics would give her credit for.
Left-handed. She shot it left-handed.
Folkel is just remarkable. This is their 10th game in 2 years. She was playing intramural ball with the men, and I bet they didn't want to play with her. 16-8 Stanford. And after a shaky start, they found their offensive rhythm.
I guess it's like volleyball. You just use either hand to just put the ball away. And again, calling for the basketball, a nice turn, knows where she is, stays within her range, and why not get the ball to somebody down low like that? Roberts gets caught behind her defensively. They're either going to have to front the defense for Stanford or do something different.
She is just so fundamentally sound, and as we told you, recruited to play both volleyball and basketball. In her first year, she makes the Pac-10 All-Rookie team and goes to the volleyball championship. Sophomore year, how about a couple of them? In her junior year, All-West Regional team and the NCAA Volleyball Championship again.
and an alternate on the volleyball team in 1996.
For the Olympic team. Blocking
you.
foul called by Focal.
Mary Andrade, a very physical player, plays with a lot of emotion. She is the heart and passion of this Old Dominion team, and she wants to get involved in this game. And against Purdue, that game was tied. It was close. They had a chance to win it. She missed that layup, and Wendy Larry had to call her over after that game as far as going into the timeout and said, look, you got to settle down. You didn't lose this game. We're going into OT, and she scored 5 big points for them.
One thing that really hurts ODU outside of Andrade is they are not a good free throw shooting team. She is the only one of the starters over 64.8%. And normally in women's college basketball, people are shooting 75-80%. So she's the one they want on the line out of the starters.
In any kind of tight game, if you're going to win those, you better be a good free throw shooting team.
Weidman with great recognition. She's got the 6'5" Machinguana out at the head of that zone play. But they get the miss inside from Scott, the rebounder, Roberts.
After the free throws, that's when Old Dominion will throw that press on him.
Himes doing more of the work in the point and a half court offense. Himes misses the little 6-footer. Weidman on the run. Stanford trying to push it. Great play by Focal. Holy cow, what a play. She first has to make this athletic leap to catch the pass, and in the middle of it, she gets the assist. Is she something else?
And then we talked about the balance of this team. Kate Starford does not have to score. They're very unselfish. They look for each other.
3 outside from Penichero. Rebound to Machinguana. And a travel. Nice defense by Nygaard.
Oh, I love this play. When you look down floor, you look for your players, and look at Focal. Does not even come down with it. And this is a nice shot by Olympia Scott, fading a little bit away and using the backboard. And Tara Vanderveer says what has made Olympia Scott so much tougher this year is that she is finishing the shots.
Focal dumps it down to Scott. She missed that one.
Oh, it's Focal Scott.
Well, she can't make them all.
That's right.
18-10 Stanford. Penichero dumps it to Roberts.
Oh, nice fake.
Beautiful fake. Machinguana with a rebound. Couldn't hit it. Scott with a rebound off of her miss. Elbow. Oh, that's a tough call. They're going to call Andrade for a foul, and she got it right in the chops.
The front line for Old Dominion having a difficult time getting the basketball to go down, getting the rebound. Look at the 3 frontline players, and Olympia Scott just nails Mary Andrade right in the jaw, the mouth, and she gets called for the foul.
That's terrible. You can't call Andrade for a foul on that one. She had position. Timeout on the court, 11:46 to go in the half. 18-10, Stanford of the lead. Kate Starbird got the Naismith Player of the Year award earlier this week, but Coach Wendy Larry isn't convinced she's even the best player on the team.
You look at a Kate Starbird and what a wonderful player she is, and then you look at a Kristen Focal, and you think, who's really the better player on that basketball team? You know, Focal looks so fresh right now, and rightfully so, but she's added such a great dimension to their team that was already so tough.
I think Wendy Larry would have been happy if she just stayed with volleyball and forgot this stuff.
A zone by Old Dominion. They're looking to trap.
Starbird free for a 3-pointer. 2 out of 3 from long range. Starbird already has 11. She has only averaged 14 during the tournament, and as Annie pointed out earlier, she hasn't played that many minutes. She hasn't had to score. Tonight she will.
And that's how you break the zone, from the outside.
Out of bounds off of ODU, and it would be a little easy to get shaken right now. You're down 11, and the 6th turnover for the Lady Monarchs.
Nairi Roberts and Therese Machinguana in their last game against Florida each only had 6 points. They've got to score more than that in this game.
Nygaard gives it up to Weidman.
Now back to the man.
Nygaard. Offensive rebound, Focal. Oh, she has 8 points.
And a timeout by Wendy Larry. Focal just gets great inside position. And you think against a man-to-man, you got to get a body on her and move her out of there.
Stanford has its biggest lead of the game. 13 points over ODU in the first semifinal of the night. Stanford, after giving up the first 4 points of the ball game, has gone on a 23-6 run and have a 13-point lead over ODU. And Kristen Focal off the bench has been one of the huge keys as Stanford shooting 56% in this first half.
ODU in their half-court game has to come out now out of this timeout, set up some plays for their inside players and get the ball in their hands.
Panachero trying to penetrate. Weidman cuts her off. So Panachero puts up the shot. One shot and out.
And she had to take the shot. She was in the lane.
And not only 3 seconds, she was worried about 5 seconds. Nygaard for 3. Air ball. Here comes Panachero. Kicks it back outside to Evelyn. She is the shooter off the bench. Aubrey Evelyn with that great touch from outside. She misses. The follow is good by Nyree Roberts.
Nyree Roberts, 6'3" junior, is a lefty, and they need more putbacks like that.
Starbird, 3 out of 4 bombs. And she has 14 first half points. That's why she was the player of the year.
Stanford just keeps coming at you. You can score on us. And this is Tara Vanderveer coming off the Olympic team. And even when she was here 2 years ago, is that we want to run. We want to run. You can score baskets on us, but then we're coming right back down to score on you.
Foul will be on Focal. They had given her one earlier, but taken it away, so it's only 1 on her.
Old Dominion coming down, trying to get back on the transition defense. And Stanford is already down there. Kate Starbird has set up behind her three-point line. And she is 3 of 4, already 14 points in this first half.
She can fill it up. Her high in the tournament, 22.
And she has a career high 44 against USC last year and had 40 against USC this year.
How much of an impact player is Focal since she came in the game? The score is 14-4. Diaz comes in to run the point, and here's the foul on Focal, so she picks up 2 in a hurry.
And she usually is not in foul trouble for that.
And that'll get Olympia Scott back in the ballgame, and Focal will sit down with those 2 personals with 9:12 to go first half. Scott has led this team in the NCAA tournament. 16 points, 7.5 rebounds a game, both team highs.
Kristen Focal is out of the game. The Lady Monarchs have to say, okay, we've got to be the aggressors now. She's out. Let's go after the baskets and be aggressive because, you know, coming into this game, this is the first time for Old Dominion. This is the 3rd Final Four in a row for Stanford. And people were concerned as far as Old Dominion. Were they going to be intimidated?
Looked like Diaz got away with a walk, but she hits her first 2 points. It's 24-14. Weidman, nice job keeping her dribble alive. Scott back to Weidman. Flores.
That's where that pressure defense is so good. They step into the passing lane there. And Stanford has to be patient on the passes. Look for backdoor cuts.
Flores, the freshman,
nice
throws
pass.
it away. Beautiful play by Nyree Roberts. She got the great feed. She has 8, and ODU has cut it back to 10.
All Panachero did was just a little look away and then dumped it down low.
Flores drives the baseline and scores, and they've got Kristen Focal right back at the scorer's table, and Tara Vanderveer is not, or Vanessa Nygaard back at the scorer's table, as Tara Vanderveer doesn't want this run to continue.
Milena Flores, only a 5'6" freshman, and that's what makes this team also difficult to guard, is they have very versatile players. They can switch in different positions.
Roberts lost the handle on it. 12-point Stanford lead. Starbird, 4 out of 5 from beyond the arc. She has 17 and a half.
Hello, give me the ball.
She got to 17 in a hurry, didn't she, in the first 12 and a half minutes?
And I tell you, somebody better get on her and keep that ball out of her hands. And we talked about in the opening, she is so good at making herself available to get the ball.
And boy, when the player of the year is feeling it, you're right. You better get somebody out there on it. Natalie Diaz into the ballgame, takes her first shot. It's an air ball. Starbird trying to push it. Weidman directing traffic, sends Omi inside. Weidman goes all the way in. Nice block by Roberts.
Kate Starbird just setting up at the top of the key. She can hit it from the baseline, can hit it from the wing. And there's her mom and dad, Ed and Margaret Starbird.
You don't think they're enjoying this?
Kate moved all over the country, was an Army brat.
And that's how she learned to play basketball against 19 and 20-year-old guys when she was 13 and 14.
Up in Washington. That's one of the reasons she said she didn't watch TV. She was too busy playing basketball and moving around.
Andrade forces the turnover. Lady Vols of Tennessee. Really haven't been able to uncork their inside game so far. Nice runner by Latoya Small. Her first two.
Latoya Small can be a big-time player for them. She's a very, very good athlete. As a matter of fact, she's on the 95 Olympic Festival gold team winner in team handball.
Pensacola Junior College. Ball's kicked outside, saved by Scott. The shot clock did not reset. It's down to 11. And Scott bounces it off her knee. Olympia Scott having an unusually shaky first half here for the Stanford Cardinals. Weidman trying to dog Natalie Diaz. Diaz left alone, missed the shot. Starbird with a rebound.
Old Dominion has had some open shots, and they're just coming up short.
Starbird, nice dish to Scott, and she's fouled.
Talk about Starbird in the open court. She can handle the basketball. You put her in the front. You put Flores in the front. You put Weidman in the front. And look at Starbird. Comes down and sees the open player. Sees Olympia Scott. She's not taking it all the way.
She's such a smart player because if she has the best position on the court, she'll keep the ball. If she doesn't, she always gives it up to Weidman.
And that's what makes a player so dangerous, is an offensive threat. They're looking to shoot before they pass.
Nygaard couldn't get it in 5 seconds, turns it over. The 7th miscue for Stanford. And Wendy Larry knows that defense has got to do the job for her.
That's right. Give credit to Wendy Larry and the Lady Monarchs as far as that defense. That's the second time that Stanford has had trouble taking the ball out of bounds. And usually Tara Vanderveer, that is one of the things that she really works on this team, because it's vital to get the ball inbounds. We saw that in Tennessee in the regionals last week, how well they did that.
Roberts, tough pass to handle. Small has it. Shot clock down to 7, and Penachero tries to hit the runner. Roberts tried to keep it alive. Weidman got tripped, no whistle. Holy cow, are they letting him go? Their bodies bumping everybody. Weidman just flat got tripped.
And the biggest thing is the coaches are going to fear just to hope that nobody gets hurt.
Tara Vanderveer was going nuts over the
great shot.
Scott had the offensive rebound taken away from her by Small.
And Wendy Larry likes this type of game. Her team is a very physical team. She's got 3 players that have played overseas in Portugal, one from Mozambique.
There's a no-look pass there by Penachero that was knocked out of bounds. It has really reached a level that I think is dangerous for some of these players.
Well, Tara Vanderveer's got to be used to this too, as far as the Olympics are concerned. When you go internationally, and her Olympic team went 60-0, winning the gold medal in 1996 in Atlanta, and they played a lot of rough teams.
Not a bad 2-year record for her. She's 94-1. Weidman reached in, got a piece of it, but Roberts saved it, and she'll draw a foul, I believe, from Heather Owen, who's in for the first time. And it is Owen, her first, the 4th against Stanford.
Good post up by Mashingwana, and she's looking for it. And they give it to Nairi Roberts going to the basket, and she will get fouled and shoot free throws.
Roberts, a 54% free throw shooter as a team. ODU only shoots 61-2.
Roberts leads his team in block shots. And as you see, 65% from the floor, but only 55 from the free throw line.
Not much of an arc on that. She's been the offensive force so far, though, with 10 of the 20. And she's a terrific rebound. Hits 1 out of 2. Here comes the press. Nice job of breaking the pressure, and now they'll set up half court. Nygaard had it taken away by Andrade. Nice defense. Then she throws it away, saved by Machiguana.
And Old Dominion had made the switch with Himes on Weidman.
Machiguana double teamed at the baseline, makes a dangerous pass. Somehow it got through. Somehow that one came out, saved by Weidman in the corner. Here's a three off the front of the rim. Starbird with a rebound, and Kate Starbird now has 19.
I tell you, every time she touches the ball, you just automatically think it is going to go in.
33-21. Old Dominion would love to make a run before the half. That's a jump ball. Possession arrow will give it to who? Stanford. Starbird has hit 6 out of 7 shots from the floor so far. Bombing away from outside, she has 19, and Stanford leads by a dozen.
Clarice Machiguana for Old Dominion, who averages 20 points a game, has had only 1 shot this half. Good bumping and fronting defense by Olympia Scott right there, but the Old Dominion guards are not doing a good job of getting her the ball when she's open in between the bumping and the grinding. Mike Ann?
What's happening, too, why the guards aren't getting her the ball is Stanford is putting pressure on them, and then they're sagging off to make that entry pass difficult to see.
Weidman with 5 assists and an outstanding first half so far.
ODU in the zone coming out of the timeout.
Starbird goes to Omi on the baseline, and she throws it away. Excellent defense by ODU. Diaz gives it up to Pinachero. Machiguana, to get the ball, has to come all the way outside to the top.
And Olympia Scott's letting her get the ball out there. She cannot score from up there.
But a lot of bumping going on. Diaz, nice tough shot over Starbird. Diaz has 4, and they've cut the lead back to 10. Sharman Smith has checked back in. She's 21. Weidman penetrates, tried to get it to Scott, somehow got the ball back. Tries to feed Scott again, knocked away. Shot clock is down to 8. Sharman Smith with a rare shot from the baseline, and she hit it. Only averages 4.5 points a game, but that was a big bucket.
And she has gained a lot of confidence this year as a senior. She's had a lot of starts. She's made some good plays, and her offense has really come on. People look at her as a defensive player, but she'll come up with some big shots for Stanford.
She's only 5'10", matched up against the 6'1" on Andrade, who tries to take her to the bucket and can't convert. 3 on 2. Look at Scott run the court.
Well, Kate just stayed out on the wing for the three-pointer.
Now she goes baseline. Pull-up jumper. Starbird has 21. Are you kidding me?
Jamila was looking for Kate to cut in towards the basket, and she just floated out of three-point range and said, hey, I want the 3. But she had to come in and get 2 anyway.
37-23. Stanford trying to make up for its only loss of the year. Pinachero, great pass. Great no-look to Roberts.
Do you love it? Especially when you get an assist off it.
Roberts has 13 of the 26. Her big first half has kept them in it. Diaz all over Weidman. Scott. Starbird turns it over.
This has really been a good move by ODU going into the zone because Stanford's going to have to keep hitting the outside shot. They're trying to get it into their big people.
10 turnovers for Stanford as they are starting to mount up for them. Diaz left alone for a 12-footer. She has 6 points off the bench.
And the same thing with the Lady Monarchs. Go inside and then kick it back out once the defense sags in. What Stanford is trying to do, if they can go inside, their post players try and use their bodies to create fouls like that.
Nairi Roberts is called for her first personal. Neither team in the bonus as yet, as we are under a minute to go in the first half. Shot clock reset at 30. Here's an interception picked off by Eller. Amber Eller brings it down, and not a good job on the inbounds play by Stanford.
Well, I'm sure Tora Vanderveer is going to have a lot to say about out-of-bounds plays in the second half.
10-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock now.
And look at where the post players for ODU are getting the ball up at the high post.
Small forced that one up, taken away by Nygaard. Nygaard had her pocket picked. Amber Eller tosses it out, nearly a backcourt violation. With 12 seconds to go in the half, ODU can play for the last shot. Pinachero, the bucket and the foul.
Tisha Pinachero, you know she's coming inside. She is the Colonial Athletic Association Player of the Year this year, and she is going to go to the basket. She's right-handed, gets by Weidman. Weidman gets called for the foul, even though Vanessa Nygaard tries to pick up a charge.
I don't think we're going to see a charge call tonight. Because wherever you get to go, you go. Pinachero, surprisingly, a 64% free throw shooter. She has 7 points. 4 seconds to go. Let's see if they can get off a shot. Nygaard tied up, knocked away. Andrade can't get it off in time. That's the end of the half. Stanford has seen its big lead cut to 37-30. What a performance by Kate Starbird. 21 points, 7 out of 8 shots from the floor. Let's go back up to the host center, Robin Roberts.
All right, Mike. From our second game, Muffet McGraw of Notre Dame and Pat Summitt of Tennessee. Quickly, I want to get your impressions of this first game between ODU and Stanford. Of course, ODU trailing now 7 at the half.
Well, Kate Starbird really got out of the gate well. She's playing tremendous basketball, shooting the three very well, and they've got the inside game going also.
What do you think about the first half, Pat?
Well, I think, first of all, Old Dominion turned the ball over early, seemed a little nervous. They settled down now, but Stanford's got a lot of weapons, and no question, Kate Starbird wanted to put an exclamation point. I'm the player of the year.
Yeah, and she's really playing like that. Muffet, this is the first time that Notre Dame has been here. You look around, you got a big crowd here. Your team walks in, and they look and all, but you very much have a lot of composure. Talk about this first time being here at the Final Four.
Well, we certainly are enjoying this experience. It's just awesome for us to be here for the first time, but we really feel like we can be focused on the game when it's time.
Pat, do you have an advantage because this is the 10th time you've been here?
I don't think so. A lot of these kids were in diapers when I came before, Robin, so now they're here as players, but you know, it never gets old, and it's always different because there's new personnel, it's a new team, new personality.
What has really changed in the game? I mean, you've been there from almost the beginning. I don't want to age you like that, but what have you seen changing in the game in the 10 years you've been here at the Final Four?
Well, our tournament is now, it's an event. It's become an event. You look at this, it's this great atmosphere, and you know, when you have that, then you have the enthusiasm, you have the media, you have television, and it's the total package. That's what we've been striving to get, the total package.
All right, let's talk about your game, Muffet. What do you have to do to knock off the defending champs?
Well, Holtzclaw is a big key to the game, and we're hoping that she comes out and just shoots a really, really bad game tonight. But I know they're a great team, and really, we're just going to go out and play our game.
All right, I know, Pat, I know you say rebounding wins championships. What do you look for tonight?
Well, defense and rebounding. So that's been our key. It's allowed us to get easy scoring opportunities, and we have to be solid in those categories and take care of the basketball.
All right, ladies, thank you very much. I know you're kind of busy tonight. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
We'll have much more here in the Legion's halftime report.
A 7-point halftime lead in the first national semifinal. Mike Patrick, Andy Myers back with you courtside with Nancy Lieberman Klein. A story in the first half of 2 All-Americans, one great, one not so great tonight.
No question. Right now, Kate Starbird has taken over the first half, and Clarice Machangwana has really struggled. Starbird, the consummate student, teacher, teacher, I'm open, and she has the answer. She has only missed one shot in this first half. On the other hand, Clarice Machangwana has only taken one shot, and that's been because of the defense by Stanford. They have really controlled where the ball is going, and Machangwana has been fighting it all first half. See what kind of adjustments they will make in the second half as far as getting the ball to Machangwana, and also 21 points, 7 of 8, 4 of 5 from three-point. Starbird has the answers.
Starbird and Focal between them, 11 of 12 shooting from the floor. Stanford is a team 58%. They've hit 4 out of 8 from long range, all from Starbird, and they've outdone ODU in a remarkable category, second chance points, 14-2.
Stanford had 7 players in the first half get rebounds.
Machangwana immediately scores and gets the foul, and you know that's what they talked about at halftime.
Well, they didn't come out till there were less than 2 minutes left to go at halftime. Obviously, get the ball into Machangwana. Nairee Roberts has done a tremendous job in the first half. She was 6 of 7 from the floor with 13 points and 4 rebounds. Machangwana going straight in, and Mulitao Pele just reaching in a little bit and getting her hand caught in the cookie jar.
Free throw, in and out, offensive rebound. Andrade didn't get the roll, and Scott with the rebound.
The open floor.
Starbird to Nygaard for 3. Bricked that one. And Hines with a rebound.
Nygaard 0 for 4.
Starbird with a steal. What a play. And then baseline.
Oh. Rimmed out. She did a nice job getting herself open, though, backing the defense off.
2-on-1. Machangwana gets her own miss and follows. She has 4, and the lead is cut to 3.
Coming into this game, Wendy Larry said, we're going to have to eat glass. And in the second half, ODU has gotten second opportunities to put the ball back in the basket.
Counting the end of the first half, an 11-0 run.
And they'll stay in that zone.
Omi, fouled by blocked by Roberts, who did a great job of knocking the ball into the corner so Andrade could pick it up. Penicero back the other way.
Machangwana just backing in now against Olympia Scott. She is getting her position, which she was not doing in the first half.
She has half a dozen, the lead down to 1. It was once as big as 15.
And remember, Kristen Focal has 2 fouls, and she sat out an awful lot in that second half of the first half.
And they have really needed her on the court as Omi throws it away. Roberts picks it up, and here comes Penicero. A chance for ODU to take the lead. And they did. What a run by ODU. And Kristen Focal will come into the ballgame. But Penicero and company have made their run. And it has seemed many times tonight, Annie, that when they have gotten the ball inside, Stanford on offense, without Focal in the game, they have mishandled it quite a bit.
This is definitely a game of spurts. In the last meeting of these two teams, as you had mentioned, Mike, Stanford had 28 turnovers. Are they tentative coming out in the second half? Well, they're going to have to be the aggressor now because ODU has the tempo of the game. They want to come back and control it. If Stanford is going to run an attack, so is Old Dominion.
Let's check in with Dancy.
Okay, what Old Dominion told me at halftime, Wendy Larry, is that they were going to start changing their defenses and primarily stay with the zone. Machangwana had fire in her eyes in the locker room. They were going to go 4 out, 1 in, isolate her, and they were going to attack Stanford. Old Dominion thinks they can win this game.
Let's see what Stanford does this trip down against the zone with Focal back in the game. She sets a screen for Weidman. So even when she doesn't score the points, she sets up somebody else, and Weidman has her first 2.
What Old Dominion in that 2-3 zone, they've gotten so caught up in Kate Starbird because she has been hitting her shot on the outside. Nygaard has missed, but they're the 2 outside shooters. They cannot lose sight of Weidman.
Machangwana drives to the bucket, hustles after the rebound, but Weidman with a loose ball. When Focal is in the game, Stanford has outscored Old Dominion 16-4. Starbird for 3, and she's fouled by Hines. That's the second time she's been fouled shooting a 3 tonight.
And Kate Starbird, Mike, is so smart. That's why she's the Naismith Player of the Year. She's the WBCA Player of the Year this year. She knows how to get fouled. We talked about her shot, the type of shot she has. It's not, you know, great form or whatever, but sometimes on those follow-through, you can follow through into the defense and create a foul.
Starbird 4 for 4 from the line, 22 points. Give her 23 on the night. She has been unerring. Has missed one shot, either free throw or field goal, all night long. 6 out of 6 from the line. And Stanford, just as quickly as it lost it, has regained the lead. Crowd has really been into it.
And Stanford in their own zone.
Trying to check Machin-Guana down low. She got the roll again. Machin-Guana has 8.
And Kristen Fogel has 2 fouls, so she has to be careful not to pick up that third.
Will they get out on Starbird in a hurry, don't they? That time she had it blocked, forced it inside. Himes on the run. And Himes uses the glass to bank it in and tie it up. The first 2 for Stacey Himes. Nice skip pass to Starbird for 3. Finally missed one. Tipped outside. Starbird has it back.
Oh,
the baseline. Missed the shot. Focal with a rebound and the follow.
What a good screen by Olympia Scott, though, to open up the baseline for Starbird. She misses a shot, but a great rebound by Focal.
Focal has 10. She and Starbird have combined for 34 of Stanford's 44. Nobody else more than a bucket. Pinachero, great pass. Machin-Guana missed the shot. Olympia Scott got it. Machin-Guana took it away. Boy, has she been a different player in the second half.
Olympia Scott has worked very, very hard. She has had 4 good games in a row, but she is struggling in this game.
Roberts hits this one, tied again at 44. The 2 top-ranked teams left in the tournament. Focal over Roberts draws the foul. 2 on Nyree Roberts. Machin-Guana just eating it up inside in the second half.
She averages 20 points. She had 35 and 14 against Liberty, 14 rebounds. This is probably a weakness that Kristen Focal does have. She only shoots 57% from the free throw line.
You get the feeling she'll work on it, don't you?
Well, when she first came back after playing in those intramural leagues with the men, she shot an air ball, and she just went to the crowd and said, "Oh, here I am." She laughed it off.
Just tremendous off the bench. And she gives Stanford a 2-point lead. 15:30 to go in the ball game. A shot at the national championship is on the line between the second and third-ranked teams in the country. Now, River, the skyline of the Queen City and Riverfront Coliseum. Stanford with a 2-point lead over Old Dominion. Coming up, Notre Dame and Tennessee in semifinal number 2. The Irish getting into this with a great tournament run against the defending national champion and All-American Shamiqua Holdsclaw, who was such a joy to watch. ODU inbounding against pressure. Eblin, the shooter, is into the ballgame, picked up by Scarborough. Machin-Guana. Olympia Scott with a rebound, and she has lost the ball so many times. Roberts with a follow, no good, but she is fouled by Focal, and that's 3 on Focal. And during the timeout, you had a good point about Olympia Scott and why she may be having a problem.
In one of the last 2 tournament games, she got splinters in her hand, floor burns, I should say, diving on the floor, and that's why she's got that wrap, and it has really affected her, especially in this game. But Machin-Guana, she looks like a thoroughbred out there. She gets that ball, she's going to the basket.
Scott must have lost the ball inside half a dozen times. Eblin with a great outside shot hits her first 3. ODU back by a point. Get the feeling this will go to the wire?
Hey, it's going that way. The only game Stanford has lost when they've been down at halftime has been against Old Dominion.
Nice Nygaard, who has not had her shooting touch tonight. The rebound to Penichero. She is 0 for 5 from the floor. Evelyn tries another three. Roberts with a follow. Roberts has 17. Weidman, nice penetration, can't finish.
And Old Dominion is doing a job blocking out now in the second half. They are the aggressors on the boards. They're going right at the basket.
Boy, aren't they ever. Natalie Diaz gets a point. Excuse me, Machiguana again. And Machiguana has 10 all in the second half. Tara Vanderveer has seen enough of this run. Old Dominion has its biggest lead of the game, 51 to 46. Timeout on the court, 14 to go. ODU by 5 points, and Annie, it's been Machiguana that's led them back.
This definitely has been a game of spurts, and right now Old Dominion is looking for Machiguana going inside. She has great footwork on those size 13 shoes. She started out playing a little bit of soccer in Mozambique, but said basketball was her game. She had the crunch toes because she couldn't get shoes to fit her, but now in those size 13s, she can move.
She and Roberts have really been a force inside in the second half. Let's see how Stanford responds down by 5. Starberg draws a little attention. Weidman goes down on the floor, tied up with Penichero. Possession arrow will give it back to Stanford.
We'll see if Weidman keeps going in that seam, because right now the zone for Old Dominion is sagging back and daring Weidman to either come in all the way or take that shot.
Nice skip pass to Starbird for 3, in and out. Scott with a follow. Got the bounce. Something good finally happened for Olympia Scott. She has 4 points.
And they needed that. They were shooting 2 of 9 for 22%.
Mulitawa Opele is in for Stanford. Gives them some more size up front. Knocked away and stolen by Scott. Nice pass to Starbird. 2-on-1. Starbird takes it all the way in, and she is fouled by Roberts. That'll be 3 on Roberts. Let's check in with Nancy.
In the Stanford huddle, Tara Vanderveer told her team that they're better than they're playing. Stay with it. Nygaard, if you have the shot, continue to shoot it. But they must front Clarice Machiguana, exactly what Olympia Scott just did. There's plenty of time.
Starbird 7 out of 7. Thank you, Nancy. And Starbird now with 25.
So Starbird missed a shot earlier going to the basket, and it was really forced. And it's the only time that she's really forced a shot. When she lets the game come to her, then she'll get the open shot.
Weidman challenging Penichero. ODU by 1. Machiguana out high. Scott on her. Loose ball stolen by Scott, and she's fouled by Machiguana. So Stanford has cranked up the defense.
And Olympia Scott really has to step up. Coming up with a big defensive play. We talked about her hand really bothering her. Weidman putting the pressure on Penichero. But look at Olympia Scott will step right into the passing lane and come in on Machiguana. And Nancy had said, you've got to face Machiguana or get in front of her and make the lob pass to get weak side help.
Stanford with a chance to regain the lead. Weidman knocked away from Omi. Good play by Roberts. And Penichero wants to slow it down for a second.
Penichero has not been penetrating quite as much. She's looking to pass from the outside. And again, look at Stanford just sagging inside.
Penichero left alone for 3, missed the shot, the rebound to Focal.
Well, they triple team Machiguana on that one.
12:22 to go in the ball game. It's a 1-point lead. Bad pass that time by Focal. One of the few mistakes she's made. Penichero back the other way. Roberts kicks it out. Andrade down the lane. Missed the shot.
Triple team.
Andrade, that's got to be a foul, as she really had her wrapped up.
I really like like the way Focal came out of there, too. She stepped right in between the defense and splitting it. Andrade, who has struggled in this game, she is penetrating to the basket, and all you have to do is step in front of her. She is not finishing her shots.
They indicate the fouls on Machinguana. That would be her third.
Nice rebound by Focal. She goes down, but which enables the defense to converge on her. So she is lucky she comes out of there.
Machinguana picks up her third. Focal playing with 3 for Stanford. Still a 1-point lead for ODU. We just went under 12 minutes. Weidman, nice drive. Scoop shot is short. Got her own rebound. She knew she was going to miss the shot. Good hustle to get it. And they wanted the lob. They knocked it away. She got it back anyway.
They've switched defenses. What's made it tough is Machinguana at 6'5" gets her hands up, and Weidman's having trouble getting the ball over top.
5'6" against 6'5". Scott, air ball.
That's a good call. Andrade is just laying on Muitao Pele, and just, it's a good call by the official. Muitao Pele is just pushed right out of bounds. The ball is shot short by Stanford.
2 on Andrade. Starbird wants a timeout, fearing the 5-second call. ODU leading at 51-50 over Stanford. 11:34 left for the right to go to the national championship. Back in a moment. ODU with a 1-point lead, 11:34 to go in the ball game. Hope you've been watching the Women's NCAA Championship. Tennessee and Stanford in their 3rd straight Final Four. A record 6 SEC schools reached the Sweet 16 out of 7. The Big East 7-1 in the tournament. Notre Dame, of course, in its first Final Four ever. And ODU back for the first time since 1985.
Stanford won the NCAA championship in 90 and 92. And he said Old Dominion 85 with a chance. This is the key right here. Stanford 1 full timeout. They had to call a timeout out of bounds, and Old Dominion has 2 timeouts in a 20-second.
Starbird couldn't handle it. Tough double team. Weidman got away from her defender. Scott, bad pass.
And I don't know why Olympia Scott is jumping up in the air to pass the ball.
That is the 18th turnover against Stanford. They committed 28 in the first game when they lost to ODU.
And they averaged 16 as a team.
Machinguana gives it up to Diaz.
Diaz came in the first half and did a really good job for Old Dominion.
Blocking foul on Weidman. A couple of more whistles here in the second half. We were approaching war territory in the first 20 minutes. That's 1 on Weidman, the second against Stanford in the second half. ODU with the ball in a 1-point lead as we approach 11 minutes. Roberts forced it, didn't get it. Scott with a good rebound that time. Starbird, good lob pass to Scott. She's fouled.
Good heads-up play by Jamila Weidman. The transition, trying to come down and score. They want to score in that fast break situation, but Old Dominion did a really good job getting back on defense. They slowed things down and got the pass inside to Olympia Scott.
It's on Diaz, her second. Stanford is a team 10 out of 10 from the free throw line. Scott, a 72% shooter, trying to keep that string going. She can give her team the lead if she can hit a pair. That was the 17th foul against ODU here in the second half. 5 points for Olympia Scott, who's had such a great tournament.
She's been a real warrior for this team. Tara Vanderveer has said she's come out and has improved on her finishing of the shots.
Half a dozen for her tonight. She's averaged 16 a game in the tournament. Stanford has regained the lead.
She has become a go-to player for the Stanford Cardinal team.
Pinachero back in after she gets a breather to go against Weidman. Wants it back from Machinguana and gets it.
6'5", going back to get the ball from Penachero, then goes down low and gets the shot off. She misses it, but another rebound. Shows you how quick and how balanced she is as far as running.
She and Roberts have really been tough inside. There's Penachero with that penetration, and she gives ODU the lead. Well, Focal was wide open. They took the gun, getting it to her. She hits the bucket and draws the foul.
Kristen Focal certainly has been the finisher on this team in this game so far. They've gotten the ball inside with her great jumping ability and her great hands. She goes up and gets it. Look at this, two hands. Machangwana tries to front her. Nairi Roberts and Andrade come across, and Focal finishes the shot, and you got to be happy about the team play.
They gave the foul to Roberts. It would be her fourth. And Roberts will have to sit down with 10:08 to go in the game. She has been so big in the second half. Focal, who had been 2 for 2, that's the first miss of the night for Stanford from the free throw line.
And Nairi Roberts also was the player that picked it up in the first half to keep Old Dominion close.
Yes, you bet. Aubrey Eblin, Machangwana.
Oh, is that nice? She just posted right down low. Olympia Scott right behind her. Machangwana had a wide open lane.
Scott simply having a lot of trouble handling her. ODU back by a point. Wiseman kicks it out to Smith. Focal. Even with the contact, she just keeps her eye on the rim. 16 for Kristen Focal.
Focal already has a career high.
It won't be the last.
I know it.
Eblin swatted away by Scott.
Wendy Larry looking at her team. This is the last time that they had the ball. Look at Machangwana. Great position down low. Makes Olympia Scott stay on her back. I have not seen anybody in the country at 6'5" move the way she does, gets great position, and is able to turn and finish the shot.
She works very, very hard at it. Penachero pull-up jump shot. Scott with another rebound. Stolen by Eblin. Out of bounds to Stanford.
Olympia Scott, she feels that she got fouled, but every time she's gotten a defensive rebound, she almost looks like she relaxes a little bit, and then boom, all of a sudden, the Lady Monarchs are all over her.
And anytime she puts it near the floor, it's going the other way. Stanford by 1, 8:48 and counting. Weidman for three, huge shot. Jamila Weidman doesn't shoot many threes, about 1.5 a game.
That'll wake Old Dominion up to make them be honest on her.
As you said earlier, they had left her alone at the top of the circle. She's burned them that time.
And that's why she is the floor leader on this team. Make no mistake, as much as Kate Starbird scores, this is Jamila Weidman's team.
Machangwana with a brilliant spin move, but couldn't get the shot to fall.
You've got to compare her. We're going to see the shot by Jamila Weidman, and it's a great bucket for Stanford, but Machangwana reminds me a lot of Hakeem Olajuwon as far as the footwork.
Weidman was looking at the bucket again down the lane. She's tripped. That'll be on Andrade. Her third. So foul trouble starting to hurt ODU right now.
Andrade has fouled out of 2 games, but they were earlier in the season, but she's had 9 games where she's had 4 fouls.
Wendy Larry wants to use the timeout. She's seen her team in the seesaw battle go behind by 4. We'll be back to Cincinnati in a moment. Mist of beauty here in Cincinnati. These teams have gone at it tooth and nail. ODU second half now shooting 50%, and they have reversed what happened in the first half. They are almost double points in the paint of Stanford.
And they have held Starbird 21 points in that first half to 4 in the second half.
Weidman missed the free throw. Focal offensive rebound, and Weidman picks up the loose ball.
Oh, I love watching her go up for a rebound.
She is terrific. She's got some hops. Bad pass by Smith, and now Focal goes down on the floor to force a tie-up with Andrade. Nice sportsmanship there as Andrade helps her up. And the possession arrow will give it to ODU.
We talked about the one loss that Stanford has. They are 34-1, and that one loss was against Old Dominion, who is 33-1 coming into this game. And that was for the #1 ranking at the time. Stanford was #1. And Tara felt, well, you know, they knocked us out of #1, but maybe in the long run, it will do our team good.
20 turnovers tonight for Stanford. Andrade, great baseline move. Can't make the shot. Focal with another rebound. She has 7 boards tonight. Starbird for 3. Scott kept it alive. Out of bounds to ODU.
Right now, Starbird does not have the magic in the second half as she did in the first half when she just looked at the basket and it was going in. But good second chance opportunity because of the post play for Stanford.
She had 7 out of 8 shots in the first half. You can't expect to stay that high. But I guess she does. Probably with good reason.
Going to call an illegal screen against Stanford.
Is that on Focal?
Kate Starbird. Kristen Focal was just trying to come around the baseline, and apparently Starbird did not get there in time to set the screen. Focal was already on the move.
2 on Starbird. The 4th team foul against Stanford. ODU is over the limit here in the second half. A 4-point Stanford lead. Eblin with that long-range jumper, can't hit it.
And Old Dominion going away from Machingwana inside. She's posting up. Those big, long arms of hers is asking for the ball. They don't get it to her, but they get a break on another turnover by Stanford. But look at the positioning, keeping Olympia Scott behind her. Again, we talk about the quickness. Not too many players, 6'5" in the country, can move like that.
Andrade will inbound. Pinachero goes baseline. Nice drive. Scott clobbered.
That's where Pinachero is so dangerous. Once she penetrates into the basket, is she going to score or is she going to pass off? Olympia Scott makes her pay for it. And a good screen out by Machingwana, keeping Weidman away from her to open it up. Olympia Scott helps out. Pinachero will go to the free throw line, 65% from the line.
She's hit 1 out of 1 tonight, has 11 points. Pinachero averages about 11 points a game, but in the tournament, she has averaged 7.5 assists a game. She's really stepped it up.
And since the age of 14, she has been the point guard for the Portuguese national team. Wendy Larry, who's the head coach, has an assistant, Allison Green, who had been over in Portugal playing on one of the club teams, and that's how they got Pinachero, Andrade, and Machingwana to come over.
What a great find. The lead is 2 for Stanford. 6:49 to go in the game. Smith nearly turned it over on the double team. Sherman Smith directing traffic. Shot clock down to 12. Smith, line drive shot, kept alive by Focal. Scott back to Weidman for 3. Hit it again. Jamila Weidman has 2 threes in the closing minutes of the game.
Second and third opportunities. Wendy Larry said coming in offensively, we're going to have to execute.
Machingwana comes out to the top of the circle to get the ball. Roberts is back in there playing with 4.
Machingwana is asking for the ball. She's not getting it.
What a shot by Pinachero.
That's okay when Pinachero can score like that.
62-59. Weidman back the other way, and she is fouled by Diaz.
The offensive boards for Stanford. A nice pass out by Olympia Scott. Big shot by Jamila Weidman. The Cardinal bench, and got to be excited to have a little bit of a breathing room. Not much. 3 points right now.
Wendy Larry going to her bench for number 4, Amber Eller. Free throw by Weidman. She has 9 points tonight.
Wendy Larry, who played at Old Dominion. was an assistant under Marianne Stanley for 6 years. Went to Arizona, was Pac-10 Coach of the Year, came back to Old Dominion because she wanted to come home.
And she's done a brilliant job to get them here, 33-1. But right now, they're down by 5. Trying to keep their season going. Andrade got the roll. Andrade, who averages 11.5 points a game, only has 4 so far tonight.
Machinguana and Scott really going at it down low.
Well, Weidman got them out of the zone, hitting those 2 threes. Smith low to Scott. Scott fouled by Roberts, and she's gone. Nyree Roberts reached over the top and committed the personal.
A tough call for Nyree Roberts. She has had a solid game for the Lady Monarchs. Wendy Larry saying, come on. Nyree Roberts playing tough defense. She got all ball, but Olympia Scott trying to get position to create the foul.
I'll tell you what the coaches are not going to be happy about. They let a lot more contact go on in the first half than they have the second half.
No question.
And all the coaches and players want is just be consistent.
Well, and you have to try and adjust to what the officials are calling. And the coaches will do that, and coming out in the second half, if it's a different second half, then you have rights for complaints.
Heck of a night for Roberts. She had a tremendous performance. Really kept them in it in the first half. 17 points for Roberts, 8 boards. And now Scott goes to the free throw line. Stanford is going to have to hit him down the stretch. And Andrade is going to come out of the ball game. And they're going to send Latoya Small back in.
Old Dominion does not have the size factor coming off the bench for their front line 3 players. And with Nyree Roberts coming off, Latoya Small at 5'11" comes into the game.
And Andrade rubbing, looks like ointment onto her knee. Scott with that line drive free throw style has 7 points. And she would really like to win this game and get a day's rest before she plays again to get some help for that hand. Short on the second one. And now it's really going to be up to Machinguana inside and Penichero penetrating. Small pull-up jumper. Nice rebound by Hines. And here's a foul on Scott as she reached around Machinguana. That'll be 2 on Olympia Scott. Major League Baseball feels like spring.
Always love baseball.
And with good reason.
Go Dodgers.
Penichero now facing the zone on the inbound play. Andrade, excuse me, here's the foul. Andrade got the foul. She has 6. It is a 2-point game.
Kristen Foster again with 3 fouls, trying to not pick up that 4th foul.
Andrade so quick when she takes that baseline. They get it to Focal into the lane, and they're going to call Focal for the offensive foul. That's 4 on her. And Tara Vanderveer is going nuts.
Well, Andrade, that's what she's known for. And Tara Vanderveer said before the game, I had a chance to talk to her, said, you know, Andrade, she's aggressive, she's physical, but she does a lot of acting. Kristen Focal, they do a nice job posting the ball down low. There's not much contact. Look at Andrade just go right down because Focal has the position. She does not go forward on it. It doesn't matter. Focal comes up with the foul.
23 turnovers for Stanford. And here's a push on Sharman Smith. Boy, the officiating has really gone 180 degrees from the first half when you could run over somebody and nothing was called. And now they're calling touch foul.
No question. And we'll see how much the free throws are going to count with this 4:17 left in the game. We know that Old Dominion is not a good free throw shooting team. They shoot 61% from the line. Machinguana, you can see 15 of 18 for Stanford, 6 of 8. They are shooting well in this game so far.
And Machinguana, who had hit 3 for 3, misses this. 2-point lead for Stanford. And right now it looks like Stanford is sort of hanging on by its fingertips because ODU has been more aggressive. Weidman Dumps it off to Focal. She was out of bounds. Tennessee back in the locker room area as they are getting prepared to face Notre Dame.
Andrade has really picked up her defense for Old Dominion. And it's going to be a game of spurts. We talked about that throughout the course of this game.
Machingwana wants the ball down low. Bad pass. Small tried to force it in there. Stanford with the ball and a 2-point lead.
Machingwana has worked very hard in the second half to get that ball. That time she doesn't come up with it.
Weidman calls out the play they want. Scott got it inside and scored. Olympia Scott with 9.
Sarah Vanderveer has to be happy about the way Stanford rotated the ball. Kristen Focal with a nice pass inside to Olympia Scott, holding on to it. Scott and Machingwana, the ball has been going back and forth to those two post players.
They have really carried the comeback.
And I'm sorry, Mike, Machingwana has done a wonderful job inside offensively. They just are not getting her the ball.
Eblin goes baseline. Tough runner. Offensive rebound and another follow. This one from Andrade. She's really stepped up her game in the last 5 minutes. 2-point lead again, 2:44 to go. Down the lane, Weidman drops it off to Focal. Can't get the shot. Now goes back and put it in. What a move. Focal with 18. Oh.
I'd hate to shoot that one in, Horse.
Wouldn't make many. Even you. Focal has hit 8 out of 8 from the floor, and she saved that one for a special time. Just when the defender relaxes, you turn around and burn them.
Good defense by Old Dominion. Weidman penetrated to the basket, and Focal was able to get the ball. She takes it out of there. Then everybody relaxes because they think that Focal is going to take it all the way out and set the play up again, but she comes right back at the basket attacking, and what a great baseline shot off the backboard.
What else could you have asked of a volleyball player to join your team?
She is not a volleyball player. She's a basketball player.
Well, let's make the story sound better. She joins them. This is her 10th game of the year. All she's done in the semifinal for a national championship, 18 points and 10 boards.
Well, she made the All-West Regional All-Tournament team, and she was a little embarrassed about it.
Machingwana, what a shovel shot that was. Cut it back to 2. These teams just fighting for every bucket. Focal didn't have a lane, pulls up. Starbird really hasn't been a factor. Weidman! Holy cow, she made the shot!
And holy cow, she goes right into Mary Andrade. Andrade trying to pick up the foul off the charge. And there you see Jamila's mom and dad, John and Judy Weidman, cheering on her daughter.
Win.
Great, and look at Andrade come out of nowhere to try and get the charge. Does she get there in time? But great finish by Weidman. Hey, they like that. Way to go, Jamila.
Weidman has all her points in the second half, 13 of them. The lead is now at 5. What a remarkable tournament she's had.
No question about it. Her senior year, she said, there is a sense of urgency on this team to make it to the finals. They've been to 2 Final Fours last year and the year before. She's a senior this year.
Eblin wants to get off the 3, and now the Cardinal sin committed by Starbird as she fouled the best long-range shooter and the best free throw shooter.
Kate Starbird, who has been very quiet. But again, we talked about the balance of the Stanford team, and give credit to Aubrey Eblin at 5'7". She's only a sophomore. She made the Mid-East Regional All-Tournament team also because of her scoring. She had 15 points against Florida. She was 3 of 11 for three-point range.
Eblin, 85.7%, the best free throw shooter on the team. Her first trip tonight. When I said it was a cardinal sin, there was no pun intended.
On Good Friday, too. That's good.
Thank you. 1:48 to go in the game. She makes the next 2. It's a 2-point game again. And Evelyn's got that great stroke out of Williamsport, Ohio. Hoping. Roberts on the sideline. All she can do is be a cheerleader. Evelyn made 2 out of 3. Offensive rebound. There's a block by Focal. They'll call her for the foul, and Focal is gone.
What a great block by Focal. A tough call. Old Dominion sneaks in there. Stanford does not block out, but Focal looks like she comes up with a clean block. And now Tara Vanderveer, with 1:46, is going to have to replace Kristen Focal.
Brilliant game for Focal. 18 points, 10 boards.
Look at how high she gets. A quick whistle, that's all ball. There definitely is no body behind. The official may be out of position. She makes the call, though. You got to go with it. It's not good for Stanford. Old Dominion takes advantage.
You just hate to see a player especially foul out on a call like that where it was obvious that what she got was basketball. 8 points for Andrade. She's the best free throw shooter of the starters, but she misses this. The lead is still 3. Now I think you got to hope that Starbird is going to do something offensively for Stanford.
She's been very quiet. Vanessa Nygaard has not had any kind of game so far, and the other players have to step up.
Second one is good. 1:46 left.
And here comes the pressure by Old Dominion after the free throw.
They need to get it to Weidman.
And can Stanford take care of the basketball?
Scott double team, somehow got it back, now triple team. Here comes Diaz. It's tied. Starbird working against Pinachero. Actually got numbers. 3 on 2. Clever with the baseline. Bodies go everywhere. Andrade back the other way. 1:10 to go. Great move. Foul by Scott.
Wendy Larry was telling Mary Andrade to pull it back out. Set it up, set it up. Mary Andrade saw the baseline and attacked. Olympia Scott tries to come up with the foul. But give credit to Mary Andrade, who has played big down the stretch. Stanford with another turnover. You'll see Diaz come with a nice layup, finish against the defense. And Andrade at the free throw line again.
Hits the first, she'll get another. 10 points for Andrade, 4 out of 5 from the line.
The one thing about women's basketball, I know that women can block shots, and those are 2 block shots that Stanford has had in a row that are clean.
Andrade can give the Lady Monarchs a 2-point lead and does. 1:09 to go in the game. Here's the full court. Weidman backs out of the double team. There's no 10-second call in women's basketball, so she can move it around the way she wants to. Smith calls the play. Shot clock at 15.
They're doing a great job keeping the ball out of Jamila Weidman's hands.
Smith is not the player they want to have. Olympia Scott backing in. Short on the shot. Offensive rebound. Ball out of bounds to ODU. 40.2 seconds to go in the game. They cannot hold it for one shot. And Nygaard is hurt. Pinachero has done a nice job on Starbird.
Nygaard had surgery on that knee. She comes up limping a little bit. She is a hard-nosed player. Mulitalo Pele coming into the game, but Starbird came down in the earlier possession. They didn't call anything. There was contact. Old Dominion kept the ball out of Weidman's hands, and Charmin Smith trying to get the ball inside Olympia Scott. They do not get a good shot off.
You see the shooting rolls for Starbird in the second half. Macha Iguana trying to dribble out of trouble. They get it to Pinachero. Handoff inside. Macha Iguana hits it. It's a 4-point lead. Smith pushes it up court. Lost the ball. The steal for Eller. And she throws it away. 19 seconds to go in the game.
Remember that timeout Stanford took when they couldn't get the ball out of bounds? Well, Can they settle anybody down? No, they don't have the timeout to use.
Focal hoping against hope that they can get the bucket and then get the ball back.
And better score quickly.
Scott got a huge screen. Omi with a layup. And the timeout with 12.4 seconds to go. We got a timeout on the court. Time running out in a national semifinal.
Exclusive presentation of the women's national semifinals is brought to you by Gillette Sensor XL and the Gillette Series. Gillette, the best a man can get.
12.4 seconds to go. Annie, do you go for the steal and then commit a foul right away if you don't get it?
Well, it's hard to say. Stanford has got to get the ball. Obviously, they cannot let too much time off the clock. Old Dominion obviously going to try and get the ball into Penichero's hand, or Evelyn, who is their best free throw shooter. Penichero, ball handler. She hasn't shot the ball bad from the free throw line. We know Old Dominion is not a good free throw shooting team. Diaz also does not shoot free throws well, but she can handle the ball.
Andrade will inbound, so they'll try to get the ball to Evelyn or Penichero, just as you said. And they get the almost got the 5-second call. They call a timeout. And you know that Stanford, trying to force that 5-second call, they will not be able to take another timeout. Both teams out of that opportunity.
And Stanford used the one going into this last timeout. They didn't call it earlier off the sideline. They were able to score it, and then they called the timeout after the made basket.
If there's anything in Stanford's favor right now, it is the fact that ODU does not shoot the ball from the free throw line very well. But what Stanford's going to have to do is get ODU to go to the free throw line and hope they can miss. And then if they only hit 1 out of 2, you still need a three-point shot.
Well, no question. And they've got to hope that they can get a shot off, too, off a made basket, or after a missed basket, I should say. But it's a matter of how much time they use with only 12.4 seconds left.
And ODU has certainly done it defensively in the second half as they have stepped up the pressure.
And the biggest thing for Stanford, they're only down 2. You don't have to go for the win. Go for a tie. And sometimes kids, because of the excitement, because of the pressure, think, oh, we have to win, and sometimes shoot a poor percentage shot in the three-point shot rather than going inside, trying to get a foul inside and get a shot closer to the basket.
Weidman has hit some big shots in the second half. Kristen Focal, who did not miss at all, has fouled out of the ball game for Stanford. For ODU, Nyree Roberts, who was such a power inside, has fouled out for them. So 2 important inside players, 1 on each side, are gone. 12.4 seconds left in the game. A 2-point ODU lead. They have the basketball. First order of business, get it in bounds.
Lady Monarchs definitely have the ball handlers out there. Mashingwana is the only big player out there, but the other 3 can handle it.
Mashingwana has it. Scott reached in, and it looked for all the world like all she touched on that was basketball. The official was behind her and calls the foul on Scott. That'll be her 4th, but that's the player you want to foul.
Old Dominion does a good job getting the ball into Mashingwana. Nice picks. Mashingwana shows the ball to Olympia Scott, and she just takes it away for her. Where is the foul again?
Man.
Tough breaks for Stanford. They have had some pretty big calls that have really turned the game around for them.
And I tell you what, you just hate to see it. You want the kids to decide the game and not the officials, and that's really sad. ODU has hit 11 out of 16. Mashingwana 0 for 1. These obviously huge. Loose ball, Stanford basketball, and a foul on Andrade. That'll be her 5th. And a chance to tie it from the free throw line. Are you kidding?
Now that's the one player Old Dominion cannot afford to foul out. Andrade has been big in this second half, coming up with key plays defensively and offensively. Olympia Scott keeps it alive. Sharman Smith brings it down and is bumped by Andrade. The good thing is Stanford only has 1 second taken off the shot clock. Sharman Smith, a 68% free throw shooter, has not been to the free throw line. Can they tie it up?
And she is the worst free throw shooter of the starters. Her first trip to the line tonight. Stanford is a team 16 out of 19. It's a 1-and-1. Big shot. What pressure is that?
Then on the other end, Old Dominion coming down with the ball. Stanford cannot foul. I'd rather go into overtime instead of sending the team to the free throw line and stopping the clock.
Well, especially now that ODU has lost 2 of its prime players inside.
But Smith hasn't tied it up yet.
She does. Clutch shots. Machangwana to inbound. Here's Panachero. That's the one they wanted to hand the ball.
But they're letting her bring the ball down court.
Panachero spins out. Overtime.
Stanford definitely has new life.
Boy, the Cardinal better thank its lucky stars right there, because Panachero got the penetration she wanted. Maybe not quite the shot she wanted, but she had a good look at it.
She really did. Give credit to Old Dominion. Panachero brought the ball all the way down the floor with no defense on her. Weidman lets her go into the middle, and it's a shot that could go either way. They had that same shot against Purdue when Andrade missed a layup, and they went overtime, and Old Dominion came out ahead against Purdue in the OT.
Yeah, you better grab somebody. And the sound you heard was a collective sigh from Stanford. So we'll put 5 minutes on the clock. Here's what's happening with these two teams. Andrade and Roberts are gone for ODU. Focal is gone for Stanford. Man, what a game this has been. 76 all.
Stanford has not had an overtime game this year. People had questioned, well, have they had any tough games? Well, they lost the Old Dominion game, and they had 2 tough Pac-10 games against SC and Oregon. They are used to adversity. They've had lots of injuries this year. They've had to come together, but give credit to Old Dominion. They are a fighting team. As Wendy Larry said, hey, we will win ugly as often as we can.
And they made a tremendous comeback in this game just to take the lead in the second half. Saw it evaporate down the stretch. Both teams shooting nearly 50%. The turnovers, Stanford had 28 in the first game that they lost. They have 27 tonight. And ODU, by virtue of what they have done in the second game, has lived inside. But keep in mind, Roberts and Andrade are gone. Advantage to Stanford. Machangwana will jump center against Mulitawa Pele. Excuse me, now they got Scott in there.
You hate to be on the losing end of either team, but I tell you, both coaches have enjoyed coaching in this type of game.
They'll give it up to Weidman. She's been guarded by Amber Eller. Weidman, good crossover, but couldn't get inside. Had to pick up her dribble. Nearly stolen. Smith down on the court. Bodies really colliding. Shot clock down to 3. Scott with a miss. Omi with a follow. I tell you what, Andy, I have never seen so many calls tonight that either weren't called or touch fouls that were called after that.
There's no question right in front of us, but give credit to Stanford and the shot going in.
Sharman Smith was mugged and there was no call. And it's gone that way for both teams. Panachero to take the lead. And she'll get the loose ball. Another 30 on the shot clock.
Stacey Hines kept that ball alive.
She did a great job inside. A runner goes for Natalie Diaz. She has 10 off the bench. Tied again at 78.
Amber Eller almost comes up with the steal. Stanford's got to take care of the basketball. They've got a lot of turnovers in this game.
mid from the corner. As you've seen, she will not shoot that much.
And Kate Starboard has not touched the ball that much in the second half.
Scott with a save, then she got caught up in the air and threw it against the back of the backboard. Let's go to Nancy Lieberman-Klein.
It's their fist play. She said you got to take on the ODU little girls and get them in foul trouble.
Boy, and they did too, Nancy. Tied at 78. Lady Monarchs with the basketball. 3:17 to go in overtime. Diaz has had a nice offensive game coming off the bench. Himes to Pinachero as they run a little lead. Pinachero with baseline. Scott with a block. Pinachero got it back. The shot clock still running, and Pinachero can't hit it again. A new shot clock, and Machinguara gets the bucket. She has 18.
Stanford has relaxed on the defensive boards. Give credit to Machinguara, just attacking offensively.
Scott got away from Machinguara that time, tied again.
Pinachero is so tough penetrating the baseline. If you take that away from her, then she goes to the middle.
Two exceptionally well-drilled teams. This is Himes. Machinguara double team. It's a three that rims out. That ball was halfway down for Diaz.
And she was way inside the line, too, and they were calling three.
Weidman calls the play she wants.
First time we've seen Starboard touch the ball.
Great feed to Nygaard. Well, she hadn't scored in ages, and still they come to her like flies on honey.
No question about it. You've got to go to her because of how effective she is offensively, but she's such a great passer and sees the open man.
That was Nygaard's first 2 points of the ball game. She averages nearly 12. 2-point lead for Stanford. And ODU wants a timeout with 1:35 to go. This is a tough timeout. There's 8 seconds on the shot clock.
And that's where you really have to be aware. Penichero's got to know how much time is on the shot clock coming out of this timeout. Lots of times players don't. And the coaches have to be aware and tell their players.
Starboard, the leading scorer on the floor. She has 26 points. She gets the assist on this one.
They really set this play up nice, and you knew that Starboard hadn't touched it in a while, and Old Dominion knew that. They were going to go get her, and she makes a nice pass. Fogle becoming the cheerleader now on the bench with 5 fouls.
Omi says think, and certainly Kate Starboard did on that one. The winner of this one will face the winner of
All-Americans, Kate Starboard, and the 2 for Old Dominion, Clarice Machinguara and Tisha Pinachero are still in. You can see Scott has 4 fouls for Stanford. She has struggled in this game, but has come up with some big plays towards the end.
Second half especially. Minute 35 to go. 11 points for Scott and 9 rebounds. Machinguara, boy, did they go to her when this half started. She was almost invisible in the first half, and you knew that's what they talked about at the half, and she came out big.
No question about it. I mean, she has been an animal inside as far as wanting the ball, taking it to the basket, even when she's out 12 feet, 15 feet away from the basket. She's a good ball handler, and she goes right in there.
All right, let's reset this for you. Only 8 on the shot clock when they call the timeout, so they've got to hurry. Shot clock's down to 4. Pinachero trying to penetrate. Goes all the way in and scores. That was not great defense.
No, and Old Dominion just set it all the way up. It's almost like dominoes where they set up the blocks for her so she could go.
Tied at 82. Let's see if they get it back to Starboard. Scott with a jump stop. Missed the shot. Goes for the rebound. Machinguara comes out with it.
She's got that big jump stop that a lot of people think is traveling.
ODU with a chance to regain the lead under a minute left. Pinachero had great position on Starboard. Nearly got the shot. She did draw the foul. That's 4 on Kate Starboard.
Penachero with her great size at 5'11", able to post up Kate Starbird at 6'2". Starbird doesn't have a lot of meat on her, but Penachero very tough.
Penachero 17 points tonight, 3 out of 4 from the line. 50 seconds to go in overtime. First one is good. Hopes on the line all the way around. Missed the second one. Loose ball. Possession arrow will give it back to ODU with 47.7 seconds left in the game.
Latoya Smith and Mashingwana going after the offensive boards. That has hurt Stanford in the second half, screening out especially on the free throw line.
Well, if that ball's loose, you know Mashingwana's going to at least get a hand on it. Here's the bad pass.
That's not backcourt.
No, because it's off an out-of-bounds point. 19-second difference. Wide open. Penachero. She hesitated for some reason and then missed the shot.
And comes up with the steal.
Took it from Weidman. The shot clock is off. They've got the foul.
Nobody talks to Weidman coming down, but Penachero was wide open. Stanford got lost on defense. Penachero missing the chippy, really. And Weidman, on the other hand, Stanford has an opportunity to come down and take the lead, and Penachero just hustles on defense. Look at her come down, and nobody's talking to her. Sharman Smith, I don't know whether Weidman can hear her or not, or if Smith is saying anything to her. Usually Weidman, a very good ball handler, but when you've got somebody sneaking up behind, it makes it difficult to take care of it.
Well, Stanford fought back at the end of regulation to tie it up. Can they do it here in overtime?
53% from the field, Stanford, but Kate Starbird only 4 points in the second half. Old Dominion has dominated the paint, 56-32, and Mashingwana, no points in the first half. Hello, here I am, 18 points, and Old Dominion has dictated the tempo of this second half with 29 turnovers for Stanford and 17 steals for Old Dominion.
7 ties in this ball game. The lead has changed hands 13 times. Let's go to Nancy.
I was just in the Old Dominion huddle, and Wendy Larry said, fly, Dumbo, fly. That means once Penachero makes these 2 shots, they're coming back in a 3-quarter containment man-to-man defense. Penachero will be on Starbird. They will switch on everything.
All right, Nancy, if she makes 1, it's a 2-point game. She missed. And now Stanford can play to win with 1 bucket.
But you got to score and leave some time on the clock to give yourself a chance to get a rebound.
Setting screens for Starbird. Panachero's on her. Weidman in the lane. Missed the shot. Nygaard. Missed the follow.
Go up.
Smith. Weidman to win it. ODU wins the game. 83-82 in overtime. And the emotions flow at both ends of the court. An incredibly wonderful win for Old Dominion, a crushing defeat for Stanford. They have lost twice all year long, and both have been to the Lady Monarchs of Old Dominion. Stanford with 3 cracks at it at the end of the game and just wouldn't go, and we'll have another controversy as to whether there was a foul.
No question about it. Stanford had the opportunity to win it. They had shots at the basket. They brought it back out. You'll see Weidman with a nice shot here. Does it go? No, but a big rebound by Nygaard. She gets an opportunity. Then Sharman Smith, time running out. She kicks it out to Weidman. Is there a foul here? She gets bumped, and Weidman misses. And Old Dominion's going to the finals.
ODU will go to 34-1, and here's the last part of this sequence again. Sharman Smith with a tough inside rebound. Machengwana will come out and challenge Weidman. Watch. That's a tough call. They never got the ball to Starbird.
And Weidman, you wonder if she goes right into the defense, do they call the foul with Machengwana coming at her? But Starbird did not touch the ball in the last seconds of the game. Only 4 points in the second half. Old Dominion shut her out.
What a ball game. ODU 83-82 over Stanford, and they are hoping for anything at the end. And Wendy Larry just enjoying this celebration to the ultimate. And Stanford with all those shots asking for the foul, nothing working for the Cardinal. And ODU will go to the national championship game against the winner of our next game, Tennessee and Notre Dame. Machengwana, the player of the game for ODU, 18 points, all in the second half. Robin, that's the story from down here. Back to you.
Your initial thoughts after that? You know, you seem very tired, of course, and a lot of emotion. What are your thoughts right now in this overtime victory?
And I'm just so excited that we won. I mean, this is everything that we worked for the entire year. I mean, when we sat down in preseason, we talked about being in the Final Four, talked about winning a national championship. I mean, we knew coming in this game we were the underdogs. Well, once again, we were the underdogs and we won, and we just gotta love it, you know. I think Stanford has an exceptional team, and they start out really good. Starbird in the first half was unstoppable, you know, and I mean, in the halftime, I talked to my teammates and I said, there's so much time to go. We're just down by 7 points. We got to come back and play Old Dominion basketball. And I think for the most part, we played good offensively. It was about time, I guess.
You really, in the second half, it looked like you were the go-to person, especially when Nairi Roberts fouled out, Mary Andrade fouled out. You were the senior in there, and it looked like you wanted the ball. You wanted the ball in your hands. Well,
we just were telling each other, I mean, refuse to lose. I mean, all we want is to win this game so we can be in the final on Sunday. I think we tried to put the ball in Clarissa's hand in the beginning of the second half. I think she has just attempted one shot in the first half, and I think she's a great player, and we were not taking advantage of that. And when Nairi Roberts got in foul trouble and she had to go to the bench with 5 fouls, I got the team in the huddle and I said, now we're going to do this for you, baby. And I mean, everybody stepped up. I'm so excited for the team, for the coaching staff, and for the fans. I mean, this is awesome.
It was a heck of a game, Tisha Pinachero, and I could see Mary Andrade saying, one more game to go, one more game to go. I know you're not content. Congratulations on a heck of an effort here in the semifinals. Thank you for joining us. Nancy Lieberman-Klein is standing by with Clarice Machengwana's brother. Of course, Clarice, the head set.
Tara, when we talked about what went wrong in the ODU loss earlier in the year, you mentioned your team really didn't have energy. What was the difference this time?
Well, I thought ODU was very aggressive. I'd like to compliment them and congratulate them on a great game. I thought that we actually we got out to a good lead. We didn't take care of the ball. We had some real key bad possessions, fouling and offensive rebounding. You know, I thought they played very well, and I thought our team played very well and very hard. But it was a very physical game, and they were more aggressive than we were.
You mentioned some of the fouls. ODU was able to get back in this game late because of some foul calls. A couple of them questionable?
You know, it doesn't do any good to question them. I thought that, you know, we had even a shot at the end where, you know, there's a lot of bodies, a lot of physical play. But, you know, I'm really proud of our team, and we've had a great year. I was you know, our team was gutty. Sharman hitting those free throws to get us into overtime. The leadership that we have from Jamila, just a great performance by Kate Starbird, and everyone working really hard. It's very disappointing for our team, but we didn't put the ball in the basket at the end when we needed to, and we just, you know, I don't think played our best game, and we needed to. ODU has a great team.
Kate played so well in the first half, 21 points. What adjustments did the Lady Monarchs make in the second half to shut her down?
Well, I thought that they were pressuring her on her a lot, and there were just some decisions that we made that we didn't make good decisions with the ball, and that was everyone. It wasn't just one or two people, but you know, again, I thought we got hurt on the boards. We got hurt when we had someone like Kristen foul out, but you know, again, our team played very hard. I'm really happy with the season we had, and this is just a real hard time right now. All right, thank you, and congratulations.
Talk about Notre Dame's offense. You only talk about two people, and that's Morgan and Gaither.
Two seniors. Talk about inside, outside. We got to go with Beth Morgan first. She had a career high 36 points against Alabama, 6 of 10 from three-point range. But not only can shoot it from the outside, can penetrate. But you've got the inside player, Katrina Gaithers, who has done a tremendous job on the boards. A big game against GW, 26 points and 16 rebounds. They are missed inside, outside.
For Tennessee, Shamika Holtzclaw is one of the most consistent scorers you'll ever see. 20.2 during the regular season, 20.3 during the tournament.
Well, I guess you can just count the 20 points and 10 rebounds. She seems to get it every game. It's money in the bank for her. She has such wonderful moves inside, going to the basket. She can handle the ball. She passes the ball well. And she is fun to watch. She is truly blessed. But what's going to be a big time for her is going against Beth Morgan and see how she shadows Beth and keeps the ball out of her hands.
All right, those are the superstars. We'll be back with the rest of the lineups in a minute, but first, let's go back to Robin.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. We're just moments away from Notre Dame and Tennessee. The Lady Vols won it all last year, but this year, they're approaching the Final Four differently.
Last year, we were arrogant. We knew we were good. This year, we're cherishing being here a lot more because we were down and out. We had to struggle to get here. So if we win this year, I mean, this is going to mean much more than last year.
It's our first time here, and we're like wide-eyed. We're surprised, we're amazed at everything that's going on, and we're happy to see that so many people are like involved in the Final Four.